English 121, Day 30, APA Style, from the Allen and Bacon Guide, pages 561 to 576. Like other citation formats, APA style requires a coordination between in-text citations and a bibliography at the end of your essay. For the format for parenthetical citations, remember to place the author's last names, the publication year, and the page numbers in parentheses at the end of the sentence that includes the material being cited, separated by commas. The abbreviation P period always precedes the page numbers. If an attributive tag already identifies the author, give only the page reference in parentheses at the end of the sentence and place the publication year in parentheses immediately following the attributive tag. Always list all authors' names for up to 5 authors. After that, list the first 6 of the author's last names, followed by an ellipses and then the final author's last name to indicate the authors whose names have been omitted. Parenthetical citations always precede the terminal period except in block quotes. If you are citing a direct quotation, the parenthetical citation follows the closing quotation marks but precedes the terminal period. If more than one work by the same author is used in your paper, distinguish between the two different texts by the year in which they were published. If you have multiple works by the same author that were published in the same year, delineate those in your references page by using terms A, B, C, etc., and then refer to those in your in-text citations as well. For the references page, be sure to center the words references at the very top of the page. No bold or italics should be used. It's always references, even if there's only one. Be sure to list all sources that you mention in your paper. Do not mention any sources that you read but did not use. The sources should be arranged alphabetically by author or by title if there is no author. List authors' last names as they appear in the original work. For works with multiple authors, do not re-alphabetize them. If there is an organization that's claiming authorship for the text, use the organization as the author, as is indicated here in this example. Remember that each citation should be flush left for the first line with a hanging indent for all remaining lines. As stated previously, list all authors' names for up to 7 authors. After that, list the first 6 and the final authors' names with an ellipses in the middle to indicate the authors whose names have been omitted. For sources that originally appeared in print but are archived in an online database, include the DOI, or Digital Object Identifier, a number that is uniquely assigned to many journal articles in numeric or URL form. For article titles, only the first letter is capitalized. Both publication titles and volume numbers are italicized, although you can't see that here because of the font. Be sure to use commas to differentiate between each different terms in the citation. Finally, if you include 2 or more works by one author, repeat the author's name each time and arrange the items in chronological order as seen here, beginning with the earliest. In some cases where 2 works by an author appeared in the same year, arrange them in the list alphabetically by title and then add a lowercase a or b after the date so that you can distinguish between them in the in-text citations as mentioned earlier. Let's take a look at some common problems associated with APA style. First of all, you may want to use a quotation that you've seen cited in one of your sources. Whenever possible, find the quotation in its original source and cite that source. Otherwise, you'll be using the quotation indirectly. You can cite a quotation indirectly by being very meticulous with your attributive tags as to who said what in what source, and then use the words as cited in your parenthetical and list only the indirect source in your references. When downloading material from the web in text or HTML files, do not use page numbers from a printout because they will not be consistent from printer to printer. As seen here. On the other hand, when using PDF files, you can be sure the page numbers are correct because it's basically just a photocopy of the original. In the absence of reliable page numbers for the original material, APA says to omit page references from the in-text citation altogether, as will be the case for most electronic sources found on the free access internet. Keep these rules in mind as you successfully execute APA style in your academic writing.